Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mortal Kombat 11. Last episode we began our journey of finishing up the Kombat Pack 2 with Mileena, and we got through the first tower, saw her ending, and did a bunch of stuff. So now, after I did the tradition of doing all the stuff to unlock it off-screen, at least the latter two, we can now safely go and, go one at a time with each of these. Then tomorrow will be stage 3, and then if I have enough time, 4. And if not, it'll just be stage 3, and then the next 2 episodes, it'll just follow the cycle of Rambo, where it'll be a double upload. But anyway, yes. Let's get this going, shall we? Alright.
Miss Sexy Pants.
So yeah, now I'm going to get through each of these towers one by one. I'm not going to take any breaks from it. Just keep going and going and going until we basically got it all down. Then, when the towers are all done, episode will be over. Then, tomorrow, I'm probably going to end up doing the prerequisites to get the third stages unlocked. Maybe, we'll see.
Now what's got you all rip snorting mad?
When I gained the throne, you abandoned it!
Wasn't no pay worth dealing with your crazy.
Round 1. Fight!
I'm ready for another bite!
Round 2. Fight! Finish him! Mileena wins.
You must miss being common.
I enjoyed its glamorous life.
Pity you won't have it again.
Round 1. Fight!
Let us dance!
Round 2. Fight!
wipe it from the face of Outworld.
The Kaitin are many. You are one.
Round one. Fight! Round two. Fight! Finish her. Mileena wins. Mileena.
Don't start a war you can't win.
Speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Round one. Fight!
Let us dance.
Round two. Fight. Finish him. Mileena wins.
Alrighty. Hopefully I fight one of the MKA characters that got the classic skins, hopefully, because I want you to see them. Well, I mean, if you already own the game and you have them, you're basically able to get them anyway, so you don't need to I mean, then again, there's other YouTube videos that have it, so whatever. I mean, we're just gonna get stuck with boring, uninteresting fucking Ronda.
Shao Kahn can't be far behind you.
And there's nothing in your arsenal that can stop him.
2 words, bitch. Nuclear weapons.
Round one.
See, he doesn't even sound that intrigued, that invested. He just seems like he's forcing it. We get it, Ronda Rousey can be badass when she beats the shit out of people, but as an actress, she needs some work. I'm so glad they got the
Round two. Fight.
Bridget Ann Wilson to do it. You have to redub the lines in the movie skin because she just sounds way more invested and actually expressive.
Finisher. Mileena wins.
Although it says there's nobody who's watching, even though I'm literally doing it on my phone since I am my own moderator. So I don't know how the fuck that counts as not having a viewer, but oh well, who gives a shit. YouTube's broken as fuck in this case.
Could you die less easily?
Round 2. Fight! Finish him. Mileena wins.
Sweet, 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 sweet. Alright. Alright, let's see then. Next is Kano. Alright, I'm sure there's just going to be an intriguingly entertaining exchange to get us prepped and ready to fight, of course. Ah, of course.
Well, color me gobsmacked. You and Tanya.
Name your price, Kano. I must avenge her.
Because it's personal. It's gonna cost extra.
Round 1.
Oh yeah, that's right, I forgot. Mileena is apparently gay, I guess. Even though, like, you wouldn't notice, considering. I don't know. It's when it comes to relationships in Mortal Kombat, some I just can't seem to fathom being canon, considering how bizarre and out of nowhere it seems. Although apparently it was hinted at in MKX or something, but I don't really see that because I mean it just doesn't like for me. I thought Mileena just felt like when it comes to relationships, she just felt like too like as a character she felt too feral. So I don't think I don't know. It's weird. Relationships in franchises like this are weird. Like, when it comes to Liu Kang and Katana, that makes sense. Essentially, that does make sense to me. Johnny Cage and Sonya, I mean, because they bounce, like, they go together like the sun and the moon, essentially. They're polar opposites, but they also share this, like, I don't know, it's a fascinating thing. Although or Jax apparently married somebody who we've never ever met in the franchise. Hence why Jackie was born, why her parents apparently are... Her mom is apparently unimportant, as she was never featured or shown. I mean, well, except for in Jackie's ending. Or, no, Jax's ending, I think. Which his ending is so uncharacteristic, no, I can't agree with the way that ending was done, and I hate mentioning it because it is the dumbest, most like brown nosy ending I've ever fucking seen. But anyway, no, that's not what I'm trying to talk about. Yeah, when it comes to like Mileena and Tanya, like okay, I mean that's fine. It's not. There's no harm in it. The problem is the context, you know. Showing how that came to be and stuff really would help explain things, I guess. Or at least make it seem a little more natural, I guess. Because it just feels like they just added it in out of nowhere, to me, honestly.
Had I known your true nature years ago,
You would have denied my claim to the throne?
no clone can be allowed to rule.
Round 1. Fight!
Oh yeah, is that right, Shiva? Crap.
Round 2. Fight!
I mean, it's I don't know, the whole Tanya thing. I mean, it's fine. It just feels just out of like it came from nowhere, especially in 10. Like they never showed any semblance of it because I mean, really, relationships like that are really not that necessary to just show off all the time because then it's gonna seem like you're just putting caricatures. It's like look at Blue is the Warmest Color. That movie is literally about like a girl discovering, like trying to come to terms with whether what she wants in life, and apparently discovering things about herself, such as the fact that she has an affinity for a woman in with blue hair, who she has, let's just say, she has lovey-dovey times with, and basically it confirms that yeah, she is, of course, gay. And the whole film doesn't feel patronizing. It doesn't feel like it's just pandering for the sake of it. It's literally telling a love story that I feel hasn't been done much in terms of tastefulness. Like, because a lot of Hollywood, the Hollywood equivalent of this is basically, if I have to have, like, it basically equivalates to lesbian sex scenes, like, ridiculous, like, amounts of it, too, by the way. It just feels so unnecessarily forced, so haphazardly rushed, that they don't feel like actual, like, characters. They just feel like accessories, you know? You know, they just feel like accessories, and I don't like when shit like that is done, because I have a gay uncle. And granted, he doesn't give two shits what people think about him and his, you know, and who he loves and whatnot, because that's his business. That's what he it's what he prefers. It's his life. He chose. He chose to live it like it, you know, like he wanted it to, and that's the end of it. There is no in between. I think there's no ifs, ands, or buts, and no in betweens. There is just the straight and the simple in that regard. And the fact that I don't know, it's like when it comes to like relatives, I don't know. It's like I don't think he gives a shit, but I do think when it comes to trying to adapt or like represent something, I feel you should at least have some modicum of respect for those who probably don't understand it, in a way where you don't ham-fistingly make it as uncomfortable as possible in any way, shape, or form. That to me just doesn't work. That really doesn't work for me, because that just feels so that just feels so rushed, forced, and just absolutely like insulting, to say the least, because it's just, when it comes to representation for me, there's the way to do it in the way that Blue is the Warmest Color and Bound did it, and then there's the Last of Us 2 way, where you just make it so uncharacteristically casual that it, or not uncharacteristic, it just, that's literally like you just make it a specific character's trait. It's not something that they themselves have that equates to their personality and basically is something they naturally earned. It just is something that was ham-fisted in a DLC that was thoughtful, and it actually did do something for the character. But then Last of Us 2, let's be honest, that game was a fucking goddamn mess of inconsistencies, plot holes, and just fucking nonsensical character assassinations that just seem so out of line and disrespectful. And especially when it comes to Abby, like, her character is not that interesting. It could have been done better had they actually, like, there's actually a comment on a specific YouTube video about The Last of Us Part 2 and its analysis, and where a person actually described what they thought it should have been, how, like, it was so thought-provoking and so deep. Like, there was a lot about the plot of that was so, like, in that comment that they made, that made me realize it was literally just something that, I don't know, it's confusing to say the least that The Last of Us 2 was made at times, because it just feels so unnecessarily forced at times. And a lot of the plot is just poorly written. It's like, and this is Neil Druckmann we're talking about, a guy who played a role in the development of Uncharted 4. Although it's questionable how in which he got that role, in which he was given that job, because a lot of people say Amy Hennig was literally forced out of it by him. No, Last of Us 2 is not a great game, and it is one of my many biggest disappointments. And I've not played the game because the leaks happened, and when I saw the leaks, I didn't go looking for them, but my curiosity was piqued, like most people are in that case. You think it can't be this bad, right? And then you see the leaks, especially when there's actual footage, and you realize this is so horrible. Sony literally said, make this, and then they made it. And it just feels so like there are instances where you play the game, where you see the gameplay and you think, or like some elements in the story, and you're like, this can't be real, right? Like this cannot really exist. This is that stupid. But it's true. It exists, and it is. Oh my god, it is atrocious at times. Like, I will not sugarcoat it. The game sucks. Anytime people try to defend that game, I literally have to shake my head in disbelief and awe. It's like, how can you defend that piece of shit and tell me it's Game of the Year when there's so many problems with it? And I mean problems of the highest order. Like, the gameplay is basic as shit. The gameplay's basic as shit, has not really changed that much. The fucking animations are solid. The fucking writing is piss poor at best. Is piss poor in so many intervals. Like, it is embarrassingly ridiculous how some of the plot elements in that game were done. Like, I don't understand how writing could get so shitty in that game specifically. And just, basically, it's just a character assassination of so much that came before, that came before it in The Last of Us, Part 1, essentially. And it's just such a disservice to Joel's character, and just, as well as the character of Ellie, and how it just feels insulting to even associate with that piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many issues I have with that goddamn game in terms of a narrative that just seems so unbelievably forced and weak. Like, Jesus Christ, there is not enough time in the day to discuss all the issues, at least that have not been stated or addressed already. Because in truth, the game is not fun. I mean, the game can be only fun to a select few, or those who have no brain. And when it comes to narrative, it is so incredibly forced. Like, it doesn't try to be interesting, it doesn't try anything different. I mean, it tries, but but the execution, I feel, is what really ruins it in the long run. It's always execution when it comes to games like The Last of Us. Whenever you're making like a story or a film, it's always about the way you write the story and the narrative to benefit the complement your writing style. And if it does well, you'll be heavily you'll be praised to the high heavens. Like, you will literally be goddamn sucked off in terms of the pride of like having accomplished something that you worked your blood, sweat, and tears off of, like, for years. And when you look at the development process for the first Last of Us, game went through a lot of like bizarre changes in the process of it all. But in the end of the day, it was still something everyone and their mothers remembered. Granted, yes, the gameplay, I don't know. It's like The Last of Us, and I don't know where I got off on this tangent. My point, though, is that representation should be important, yes, but at the same time, there's only so many attempts you can do it before you just seem like you just don't give a shit in that regard, and that's just ridiculous to me. And I completely hate the woke, like, cancel culture movement, because it's literally so toxic at times that it just, it disappoints me to feel that this is where our society is going by people like this existing. People who are so toxic and negative and are all about empowerment, but will absolutely segregate like those of like anybody and everybody they choose just because they want an initiative or an agenda to like pander to, and It's just a waste. It's just a waste. It's such a fucking waste, man.
So technically, you're Katana's sister?
At least until I end her life.
Thank God I'm an only child.
Round 1. Fight!
I mean, yeah, Mortal Kombat 11 had that issue before. Like, when I launched, where people were like, okay, what the hell is going on with like Jax's ending specifically? Like, the way it ended, it was such a fucking it just was a disservice to his character, because it was just about the whole, like, I don't know. Like, if you've seen the ending, you know what I'm talking about, and I don't want to get into it because it just really seems like it just wasn't, like, they just couldn't use any other character for that, and they just chose Jax, who could have used the time hourglass to actually prevent his life from getting so fucked up, to where he could have prevented his arms from being ripped off, he could have prevented Jackie from going into the military, he could have prevented his wife from being killed, his wife from passing on. He could have made it to where he retired early. He could have done anything with the hourglass, but instead he chose to get woke. He decided to get woke. Jax, of all people. A soldier with PTSD. Wanting to get woke. And just...
Good for you.
Mileena wins.
It's just such a disservice to a character like Jax. And it's just like... I know the arcade endings aren't canon. Most of them are not canon anyway, because it's what's in the campaign and how that campaign ends. That's canon in the long run, no matter what is done. But listen, the thing is, when it comes to political ideologies, sometimes they should be implemented in things, yes. But my problem also is there are instances where they shouldn't be implemented in things. Am I seriously doing this political rant again? I don't know why I always fucking go down this path. It really is infuriating.
Ain't this a thrill?
Oh, sad to see me, Aaron.
Got me eating sorrow by the spoonful.
Round 1.
Yes, sorry, I don't mean to get political. I honestly can't stand talking about it. But there are instances where I just need to say something about things I don't particularly like about the world on occasion, and that's very rare. If it happens to come in passing, yes. Sorry, I don't know. Like, I try not to get political because I just hate, like a lot of people, we're sick of hearing about it because it's not like anything's going to be done about it anyway, and even if something is done about it, it's done incorrectly.
Fight.
Hence, in case in point, all the rioters after the George Floyd, tragedy. Yeah, ever since George Floyd's passing, people took it upon themselves to act as if they were some sort of law, like they were making a stand. But by their equivalent, that meant destroying, looting and destroying businesses and properties, desecrating statues, setting fires, causing mass hysteria. Just being absolute fucking anarchists about it. Like, not even respecting how, literally, it's like, listen, whatever your stance on the police is, you really think defunding them is going to make this country better? If anything, it's going to enable all the crime bosses and whatnot to actually do much worse. Because now that the cops aren't a thing, they can essentially do whatever the fuck they want. Which means you could be affected by that. Which means you, your children, your friends, your family, anybody who is either close to you or related to you or even anywhere in the vicinity of you could be affected by this defunding the police shit.
You want someone to blame, look in the mirror.
My only mistake was trusting you.
Ah, put a cork in your whinging, will ya?
Round 1.
But yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's like, for me, like, the police literally do play a role. Yes, there are crooked cops. Yes, there are bad apples within that barrel, per se. Yes, I'm well aware that some cops definitely don't take the job with respect and definitely make an embarrassment out of the police force. Or simply don't understand how to handle certain cases if they don't fucking want any more controversy on their part. And let's be honest, they've been ridiculous when it comes to, like, African Americans and any other group. But it's always the blacks that get all the attention in that regard, and it's never, like, say, my generation, like, my dad's side, where we're all Hispanics. When's the last time we ever heard of a fucking all Hispanics' lives matter movement or some stupid shit like that? Never, because you wanna know why? Because unlike the blacks, there's no history with us apparently, is there? Because apparently we're all just drug dealers, gang shooters, always part of the cartel, always seem like thieves, always seem like burglars, always drug addicts, always poor, always this, always that. Like, you get what the problem with this dumb bullshit double standard of thinking is? Like, I hate double standards so fucking much. Anytime I hear about a double standard, I just roll my eyes and I laugh, because if you want to justify stupid shit by putting some sort of excuse before it, or applying some bullshit rhetoric to try and seem like you're not doing anything bad at all, you're no better than the criminals that kill simply because they like doing it. Or simply all those people who literally have no other choice because their country fucks them over so hard that they have to turn to crime to at least make some sort of a living, even if they have it's a price. Like, there's always a price to pay with any decision you make in life, and it's the same can be said with any criminals. Granted, some do choose to do it anyway, even if they are financially sound, because that's just how people behave.
What is your point, Mileena?
I whisper in Father's ear, and your people die.
You'll pay a high price for threatening the Naknada. Round 1.
It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't like talking about like anything from like issues because it's not my profession, and I rather hate talking about it because it's just so depressing to be reminded of how the world sucks and how there is no hope for the future and shit like that. Because I don't know. It's like this goddamn country, as a result, has suffered tremendously for it. And I don't know, it's just whatever, who cares anymore, right? So yeah, I think this will be the one and only time I ever go off on a tangent, and I apologize for it. I really don't mean to, like, upset people in terms of, like, reminding them of how much reality is a piece of shit, and how everybody involved kind of needs to get their shit straight. Because, let's be honest, this world is fucked. We're all gonna die regardless. I don't know. That's why I prefer people like Ricky Gervais as leaders, because at least those fuckers actually know what the hell know what it is that the world needs to hear. Especially
Finish him.
I don't know. So yeah, to wrap up this little tangent, I'm just gonna say this. Life's too short. Don't waste your time feeling like don't waste your time and energy being offended by other people's opinions just because they don't match your beliefs. Don't waste your time believing everything you hear, and just live your life like you're never gonna get the chance to live it like you want to live it again. Because you only live once, as they say, right? Yeah, you only live once. Life is unpredictable. You don't know when you're gonna go to sleep, when the last time you're gonna go to sleep is, and what your last meal is gonna be. You never know these things. That's why you always have to live your life like you're literally going to die soon. Because at least then you won't have to worry about being, in a place where you could literally lose everything if you're not too careful, if you get my drift, right? Like, for me, people just, especially in this day and age, we live in a world where literally everyone is entitled to something. Even if, no matter how big or small, somebody out there is literally, I don't know, it's just a mess. It really is nothing but a mess. So yeah. Alright, after all that depressing shit I had to go on a tangent about, which I apologize for. I swear I don't speak like that all the time, or I don't think about shit like this every single day. There's just moments where I think too much that I end up going into said tangents. But you know what? Hey. It's unfortunate now that this is unfortunately the way that the world likes to think, and, well, we just have to live with it, even if we can't admit it. God knows I have to, at times. So yeah, anyway. Let's get back to the real meat and potatoes of what we're supposed to be doing, of course, getting Mileena stuff, which we will.
The cousin blood taints you.
It makes me the perfect warrior.
The perfect savage, perhaps.
Round 1. Fight.
So yeah, when it comes to Mileena's moveset, I do enjoy it, although as I said, you can notice I'm kind of fucking up in places again. Oh shit. Because again, I'm not used to it completely yet. Just a few more little bumps, bruises, and scrapes before I eventually get the hang of it, and then it's just second nature, you know? Like with Rambo.
Was it good for you?
Mileena wins.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I will say there were times where I harped on this game, but other than that, I enjoy it. I genuinely do. What's... Oh, sorry, my dog just entered the room. Apologies. What's going on, Sweet Pea? Huh? Yeah.
Does Kitana know you're back?
Not yet. I will visit her soon.
That's not happening, Mileena.
Round 1. Fight!
Yummy.
Round 2. Fight! Finisher! Mileena wins.
Your service has been requested.
And if I refuse, Gareth?
Kronika will not ask again.
Round one. Fight! Round two. Fight! Finish it! Mileena wins. Flawless victory.
That's way to flawless victory, huh? That's pretty neat. Not gonna lie. Although I'm sure that's gonna be a bitch when I have to do it, actually, when I do the things. I'm sure I'll just have... then again, I have the whole spam method of just using consumables and just fucking doing that for 3 rounds straight. Or for for 2 rounds, like for every single round that I get the chance to do it on, you know? So, you know, good with the bad, I suppose. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of a shame when I then have to move on from this series again. Because I do genuinely love playing this game when I have the opportunities to. So of course I have to keep playing anyway if I want to get those those MK3 Mileena skins.
Join us against the...
After I get the MK3 Mileena skins, then I'll feel satisfied. At least for now. Yeah, I'll be satisfied until like they release another DLC character and whatnot. Which is going to happen. There's going to be a Kombat Pack 3, and God knows how many more Kombat Packs they're going to make until they eventually do whatever the hell comes next, whether it be Injustice 3 or MK12. Which I doubt they'll immediately move on to the next Mortal Kombat that quickly. They're probably going to do Injustice 3 or something outside or something else. I don't know. That's the thing with NetherRealm. You never know these things these days.
Finish him! Mileena wins.
Yeah, there's just so many things I'm eager to see in this game when it comes to like progress. And trust me, I'm well aware this game's gonna have years worth of content, as Ed Boon stated. Let's be honest, there's gonna be plenty of content to talk about and acquire as as time goes on. But then eventually, when it stops, that's when we know something's coming next. Something. Who knows at the end of the day? Because we don't know. We just have to wait and just be patient, and then whatever happens, happens, shall we say. Yes, it is going to be an exciting turn of events, I'm sure. I mean, then again, there's also that Mortal Kombat reboot that is going to be made soon.
I can smell your
Oh, look, that's the Cold War, Cold War Scarlet skin.
2. Fight! Fatality. Mileena wins.
One last tower. Then we'll call this an episode.
Mileena.
Yeah. Last tower for this episode, and then yeah, we're done. And then yep. So this is a first part. Or no, actually a two-parter, whatever you want to call it. We'll essentially be done with this next episode, and yep. Good luck.
You belong with the tribe.
I belong with my father, Baraka.
Your blood is ours, not his. Round 1. Fight!
Your flesh is my fantasy.
Round 2. Fight!
Well, alright, gonna end this episode here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.